What up, Multiplex? We're live. It's Multiplex Loves Movies, episode number 17. Hashtag release the Newberry cut. I'm very excited about this episode because we've got some familiar and new faces to this specific program, starting with a lady who I don't know very well, but I hear is cool and likes to talk to birds. Maggie, how are you?
I'm good. What birds do I talk to? I yell at the turkeys, I guess.
The macaws.
Oh, I talk to them?
The macaw High Council.
The High Council.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And then we've also got the best manager in the biz, Cody Newberry. How you doing?
Hello, yes. I'm excited for another episode. Every time you send me the rundown, I'm like, don't care. I'm going to be angry about this, so I'm excited to be angry and not care tonight.
Sounds good. And first time on the show, Nicholas Tuig.
Hey,
how you doing?
Dude, I'm so excited. It's going to be a fun time. I don't know Maggie or have met Maggie that well, but I do hear she's awesome. So, nice to meet you.
She's an all right person, but we
also
can move on.
known as the GOAT.
Oh, that is true. The greatest fandom player to ever grace Multiplex Entertainment.
Move on.
All right, so we will move on. Guys, if you've never seen the show before, we're a movie news show. We talk about the news. It's very fun. We have a blast and a half, and we always start with the box office. The box office is an interesting story this week. So starting off, number one at the box office, Ford versus Ferrari came in with 31 million. Definitely a great opening for Fox and Disney on that one. Midway drops down to number two since last week, making 8 million. Charlie's Angels, another new release, just under Midway with 8 million as well underneath Midway. And then Playing with Fire, another 8 million. It was pretty close there at number 4, and number 5, Last Christmas with number 6. So a little bit of a mix from last week's releases with this week's releases. I'm going to start off by saying that Charlie's Angels is clearly a bomb. That's the thumbnail. That's the first title of the show, or of the show tonight. It's a bomb. We're going to get more into like what Elizabeth Banks had to say about it later. But just looking at the box office, the movie cost $48 million to make, and it made $8 million opening weekend. Worldwide, it made $28 million. So this thing is going to sink and die. They are not going to touch this thing for a while. I'm very happy, though. Ford versus Ferrari, 31. Great opening for that movie. The movie's fantastic. So really happy to see that thing crushed. Maggie, I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah.
What are your biggest takeaways from the box office?
Yeah, very, very, very proud of Ford versus Ferrari. It's a great movie. I know it's kind of long, but I think that Matt Damon and Christian Bale have that pull still that obviously will bring in $31 million, or maybe people like racing. Who really knows? The fact that Midway sort of stuck in there at number 2, even though like the gap between number 1 and number 2 is just ridiculous. Like, and then they're all like right around there. So like obviously Ford v Ferrari is the real winner, but good for Midway, I guess. It was fine. We saw it today. Yeah, Charlie's Angels is just it's sad. And that's it. That's how it is.
Something funny that you said, there is a large gap between number 1 and number 2. You've got that 31 million versus the 8 million.
Mm-hmm.
The box office as a whole, though, this weekend was really disappointing. If we look at what the box office was last year at this time, you had Fantastic Beasts opening with 62, The Grinch with 38, Bohemian with 16, Instant Family with 14, and Widows with 12. That was your top 5 last year at this time, with a total of 174 for the weekend. This weekend barely cracked 100 in the box office. So I think that's definitely a testament to the movies that are playing right now. Not that Fantastic Beasts was a great movie. But the box office this year definitely lower this weekend. Cody, what's your biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway is when you see a bunch of 888, like those slow numbers. It's a bunch of old people and a bunch of like teenage couples and like people that went to the movies and was like, "Hey, what do you want to see? I don't even know. Don't really want to see a racing movie 2.5 hours. Let's pick Midway, Charlie's Angels, or Playing with Fire. Those are your two choices." And then they even themselves out. It's the call before the storm. It happens it didn't happen like last November. They actually had some like a franchise movie come out followed by kids animated movie. So those are a little different, but it's this weekend coming up is Frozen. So everybody's just holding back. Like there's a lot of movies about to come out in this time frame. So people just save their money. Plus they're saving money for Christmas shopping, all these things. And the movies is just not on top priority. So that's why you get this, but I'm happy Ford versus Ferrari, 31 million. That's exciting. Like, for a movie like that, that's a decent opening. So
yeah, for sure. Nicholas, have you seen any of these movies in the top 5? Does any of this surprise you? Any of these drops or anything from last week?
It's been a minute since I've been to the movie theater, Tim. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta be better, but I'm aware of all these movies. Shocking, Charlie's Angel remake wasn't a great idea.
What a surprise.
To me, Charlie's Angels, and I'm like on the younger side, but Charlie's Angels was always a really great like Whose Line bit. I never really knew what Charlie's Angels was supposed to be. It just I come to this conversation every time like a remake bombs. There's just so many other better things to remake it. I just question why people make the choices they do, but that's fine. We're all different, you know. Ford v Ferrari, that's great. The way that movie looked, that looks like an Oscar baity kind of movie. If you've seen it, you can sort of tell me that. I usually don't expect things like that to make that much money, so that's great. And then just to comment on your comment from the box office at this time last year, Fantastic Beasts was, while it made more money than anything here, it was considered a disappointment.
For sure.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't think opening weekend like. You're saying the totals were greater, but I'd also like to see the totals of the budgets for those movies because,
sure, based
on what you said, I'd imagine they're probably about the same, the ratio-wise. So
probably
this week in November is not a great time for the movies. Like I had midterms going on, I was a little busy, you know. Maybe it's a busy time.
It's also it is absolutely another notable thing from the box office too. Other wide opener that didn't even make the top 10 this weekend, which I thought was an excellent movie, is The Good Liar, Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we saw the film. It came in at number 7 with 5.6 million. Granted, it only opened on 2,400 screens. That's about 1,000 less than Ford v Ferrari. But I thought it was an excellent film. So it's kind of sad to see it that low. But one other big thing with the box office, which I know Cody's going to be excited about this week, guys, Joker did it. It passed $1 billion. It happened. Fantastic.
That's crazy.
It happened. Did you see that one, Nick?
Yes, that one I saw.
All right, perfect. So
Joker
finally crosses $1 billion. That's fantastic for a movie that cost like 40-50 million to make this much money. Great. I think it. I know there are some reports about talks of a sequel now at this point. I don't really give a shit either way. They'd be dumb business wise not to, but I don't really need to see it. But I'm just happy the movie made that much money. So we will move on to the next topic, which kind of goes with the box office a little bit. It's Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth, please. What are you doing? So basically, she came out on Twitter saying, yeah, she admits it's a flop, but if you're going to have a flop, you might as well have your name on it multiple times, because she directed it, she wrote it, she produced it, she's in it. She was trying to make light of it, I guess. Again, I didn't see the film, but it only earned 8 million. It was projected to do like 20 to 25, and it only pulls in the 8 million. She went on to say a lot of, in my opinion, stupid things about the status of like Hollywood and those types of movie and movies that are making money. She basically said that comic book films and men are the reason this movie didn't do well, and that female-led movies that have done well, like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel, are aimed towards men and not women, and that's why they made so much money. But this one was aimed towards women, and nobody went to see it. That makes no sense to me. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this.
Yeah, man.
What do you make sense of Elizabeth for me, please?
I do. I love Elizabeth. Elizabeth is great. She's been in a lot of things that I like very much. What movie starring women could not be geared more towards men than Charlie's Angels? Like, what are we talking about here? Listen, I like her attitude. I prefer the attitude of like making light of it and like poking jabs at yourself than I would to like Dwayne Johnson when Baywatch came out and that bombed, where he started like pointing finger. Granted, she's doing that, but like he wasn't pointing the finger at himself. At least she's kind of doing that. But yeah, no, the comments about it's all just excuses to me. If you can show me like. If you're trying to reach an audience, make something that'll reach that audience. You didn't reach your audience. No one wanted to see this. Like, point the finger at yourself more than anyone else.
I absolutely agree. The quote, actually, which I just...
For the record, the tweet was deleted.
Ooh. Oh, what's I had a picture of it in the article.
It's not in the article here, just FYI.
Oh, I was literally just looking at it, but I exit off of it. I'll find it again. Cody, I'm going to go to you next, though. I think Nick makes a good point that, you know, the movie didn't reach the audience. What audience is this movie for? Like, who decided to do this? Please help.
I mean, it's really easy to say after your movie comes out that, oh my gosh, the reason it failed was because of comic books and this. Charlie's Angels is a 3-woman duo. Like woman team that is action oriented, which would sell to the people that normally would go see it. If you want to blame anybody, blame Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, and Lucy Liu. I'm sorry, they put 2 on in the early 2000s. They were bad then. No one, they just heard the name and they're like, I'm gonna pass. Plus, when you think of TV shows, Charlie's Angels is not one that still has stood the test of time. Like, no one's like, oh, you remember that? Like, if they came out with an All in the Family movie tomorrow, guess what? It's not going to do well because guess what? People going to the movies don't know who those people are. So it doesn't appeal. It doesn't sell. I think I'm with everybody. When the trailers for this movie came with a very late push, like, I forgot this movie was coming out, and then the trailer started hitting you in the face, like, left and right on everything. So you didn't have any buildup. You didn't have anything. So it's funny to say that it's led, but Pitch Perfect was an all-female movie, and it did quite well. It did quite well. So it's very awkward when it doesn't work. It's somebody else's fault. But when it works, it's look at thank you for appreciating art. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, I get it, but Wonder Woman was successful because it was a comic book movie. Captain Marvel was a comic book movie. It doesn't. That's just what we're all into right now. It doesn't matter male, female. It doesn't matter.
So I have the tweet. She said, "Well, if you're going to have a flop, make sure your name is on it at least 4 times. I'm proud of Charlie's Angels and happy it's in the world."
I'm talking about the Marvel.
Oh, I have that quote. That was not a tweet. That was an interview.
Oh, so I thought you said it was a tweet. So I was like looking.
No, I apologize. That was during an interview. This is what she said. Look, people have to buy tickets to this movie too. This movie has to make money. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. That was one of the quotes. They'll go and see a comic book movie with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel because that's a male genre. So even though those are movies about women, they put them in the context of feeding the larger comic book world. So it's all about, yes, you're watching a Wonder Woman movie, but we're setting up 3 other characters or we're setting up Justice League. By the way, I'm happy for those characters to have box office success, but we need more women's voices supported with money because that's the power. The power is in the money. Maggie, now that you hear that whole quote, how do you feel?
I'm a little insulted that comic book movies is a boy genre. This sort of came up yesterday in this community, but
yours truly.
I mean, I get that people think that, but I think that the amount of money that is spent watching these movies is not just men. A movie doesn't make however much Endgame makes with only men spending money to see it. Like, there are many women who enjoy those movies, and they enjoy seeing women in those movies, especially leading characters. So I don't know what her problem is. I've never heard of Charlie's Angels. Well, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen any of the other movies. Didn't even know that it was Drew Barrymore and whoever else you said. Those are people I know, but I have never been into that franchise. I just assumed it was another like sexist portrayal of women, so I was not interested in seeing this movie at all. Like, it's very much what like Nick said. Like, I didn't think that this movie was geared towards women because it didn't seem that way. Plus, I mean, the actresses you have in it, while Kristen Stewart is famous, is recognizable, like, I'd say Naomi Scott is still not. Like, she has been in one movie, and that's it. And I have no idea who that other girl is. So it's
a model.
Great, because that also appeals to women. So I don't know. I'm not surprised that no one saw this movie. So.
Yeah. I think we can leave it at that. All right, so the next topic, guys, we're going to talk about is about hashtag release the Newberry cut. I'm just kidding. No one wants to see that. We want to see the Snyder cut. Supposedly the cast of Justice League wants to see it because people like Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, they've released hashtag release the Snyder cuts. Zack Snyder has even gotten on board.
David Ayer
released the Snyder cut. David Ayer, the guy who like composed the original part of Justice League.
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher. It started with Jason Momoa saying, "Guys, it exists and I've seen it, and the score is finished, and most of it is fully like CGI. Like most of it is like done. It exists in the world." And now everybody's clamoring for it again. We had this back in 2017. We had this 2 years ago when we were all upset at the first time we had to watch this movie. And now, Cody, I'm going to go to you first because I know you have a lot to say. The Snyder cut. Should it be a thing?
But I want to touch on one thing. The Newberry cut is actually Kaleb not suspending the fellowship and what we would have done in fandom elsewhere. Absolutely. So it may come out one day. Spoiler, we win. But the other one is this is stupid. This is like the most stupid. Like when I saw it, I was like, okay, John Roca is the first person I saw that made an Instagram post about it. And then it was just like, oh, all these people, and I was like, wait, they actually tweeted? So then I was looking up like Jason Momoa gets hacked. Gal Gadot Twitter gets hacked. Like somebody hacked them to do this. No, this is real, and this is stupidity. Like you went on the press tour, you talked about everybody go see this movie, you talked it up, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was fine with it, and now 2 years later, we are bringing it back to the surface that we want to see the original thing that Zack Snyder did. I'm going to let everybody in on a little bit of like fact here. It wouldn't have been much better. I'm sorry. It may have not have been as orange, and there might have not been as many jokes. But let me tell you right now, this movie is still going to be bad because, hey, I'm not great at fandom. I'll have 3 people right now. Who directed BVS?
Zack Snyder.
Oh!
I see what you did there.
So let's put them all together and see what we get. Another bad movie. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder's not a great director. He should be a cinematographer. I've said it before. Go make movies look beautiful. Stop directing and writing them. You're bad. So I don't get I guess they just don't like what Joss Whedon did. And I'm going to be on record that I actually like Justice League more than BVS. So whatever he did, you didn't make me fall asleep. BVS made me fall asleep. So Zack Snyder, I would like to never see your cut. And also DC, thank you for not releasing the Snyder cut, because it's now another thing that we don't have to watch after the fact, because you're the best company at leaving things on the editing floor, putting it back together and selling it as a DVD so that you can buy. Terrible choice. Keep it in the lock. Set it on fire. Whoever is the Snyder cut, set that thing on fire and burn it down. Like, do not let anybody see it. Don't let anybody see it.
Here's my take. I'm in a middle ground with Cody here, I think. I don't want to see it because let me rephrase. I would be interested in seeing it. The reasons I don't want to, I think it's best to just leave it alone. Leave it alone. The movie came out. It didn't do well financially, critically. It didn't do well. Since that movie's come out, whether you like it or hate it, Aquaman made $1 billion at the box office. Joker has made $1 billion at the box office. Shazam did pretty well financially based on its budget. Great critical reception. DC is on the right track finally. We don't need to backstep, because imagine if this thing comes out and it's terrible. Because the rumor was that this was like a 3-hour movie and that it was like super, super bloated, longer than BVS. That's not something that I think we need to see. On the other side of it, I'm interested to see it because I wish that Snyder's vision had been kind of fulfilled. I wish that Warner Brothers would have just let him do his thing. You hired him to do something, let him do it. And I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman a lot. So I would like to see more of that in a different way. That all being said, I think Cody's right. Burn it. Don't let anyone see it. Leave it alone. Make another fucking Justice League movie and make it better this time. Try again. That's exactly what's happening with the Suicide Squad. The first one didn't work because you fucking interfered, Warner Brothers. You interfered and you turned it to shit. Now you hire James Gunn, let him make his movie, and it's going to be good. I hope. We'll see, as long as there's no like enchantress in the movie. So, Nick, I'm going to go to you next. Snyder cut, yay or nay?
Here's my thing. So I am not a fan of alternate cuts of movies in general. Like Blade Runner's got 20 different cuts. Like, which one do I watch? Like, it's just an inconvenience to me. I like the final cut. I dislike it even more in this new sort of storytelling that I think the MCU has sort of kicked off, where canon is a really important thing. And I know Scorsese's got his feelings about this kind of new age, and apparently Elizabeth Banks also has feelings on this new like type of storytelling that we're in, where you're basically making television shows out of movies. If you take a movie, or if you take a TV episode, and then you say, wait, there's an alternate episode, that affects all the following episodes. I don't want a Justice League movie to come out and like in that movie, Aquaman kills the Flash, and I'm just like, but then the Flash is going to show up later, and like you know what I'm saying? Like, it just creates all these things that I really don't want to have to worry about in the grand scheme of this sort of storytelling. I haven't seen the BVS alternate cut, and honestly, if we're just talking about the DCU in general, not the biggest fan. I think it's getting better. I think Aquaman was good. I think Shazam was really good. I really liked Wonder Woman, but it's built on a really crappy foundation of like, for me, I'm very 50% on Man of Steel, and I did not like BVS, and I did not like Suicide Squad. So we're built on these foundations that are just not going to support better movies, because I'm always going to see them and be like, but remember how it started awful. So no, I didn't love Justice League, and I really have no interest in seeing an alternate cut. And you're right, Cody. Zack Snyder is a great cinematographer, not my favorite storyteller. My 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. BVS, that Ultimate Edition, I wouldn't consider it an alternate cut. It is more of like an extended, like Lord of the Rings style. Like, you add 30 minutes to it. I don't think it needed to happen, but it doesn't affect the outcome of the film. Stuff that happens and it doesn't affect it. But this Snyder cut, you're right, Nick. It would completely change everything because there were rumored dark side appearances. There was like fights between the members that different ways of Superman coming back. They changed a lot when Zack Snyder left. So this version of the movie would be completely different. Maggie, is there a time that this has ever happened? Because I can't think of one where there's been a movie where like an alternate cut has come out or an extended version or something that has actually like completely changed. There's been alternate endings.
Well, I was just, what about the Donner cut?
Yeah, okay. That's actually pretty fair. There's a lot of differences in the Donner cut for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if it changed things, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because they're clearly changing lots of things because the series is on fire. So they're just going to like try to fix it as much as they're going to retcon whatever they need to fix it. That doesn't necessarily mean that I want this to come out because it's not going to come out in theaters. I hope not that they would not put it out in theaters. And it would just be another thing that Tim's going to buy for $40 and then force me to watch that's 3 hours long. And like, I just don't need that necessarily in my life. I would want it if he can guarantee me it is good. But if it's not going to be good, I don't want to see it. So
more shade thrown at me from the macaw. Lovely. So I think we're all in agreement here. We don't need to see this thing. Everybody calm the fuck down. Let's move on to the next topic, which is still DC related. This is one that I know that I think Maggie's a little bit excited about. Henry Cavill did an interview where he insisted that he's still in the DCEU and he is still Superman, despite facts that he wasn't in Shazam, even though he was supposed to be. He didn't appear in the film. He hasn't done anything. There hasn't been a Man of Steel 2. Justice League was a bit rocky for everybody, but I think it was especially rocky for Mr. Cavill, who had to play Superman with a mustache. Here was his exact quote. I'm not just going to sit quietly in the dark as all this stuff is going on. I've not given up on the role. There's a lot I have to give for Superman yet. A lot of storytelling to do. A lot of real, true depths to the honesty of the character I want to get into. I want to reflect the comic books. That's important to me. There's a lot of justice to be done for Superman. The status is, you'll see. Maggie, I am going to go to you first because Henry Cavill's your boy. You wish he had won Best Actor for Mission Impossible Fallout. So, and the supporting actor.
Tom's the main actor.
You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disrespect Tom, but please tell me your thoughts on this.
I mean, this makes me happy. I know we watched Shazam a couple days ago and Tim was all like, yeah, this really does indicate that he's not doing it because it wasn't him in the end credits scene. I was like, well, but he's a busy person. Like, he was probably filming The Witcher. And so it's really not that surprising that he didn't come back for that, I don't think. Plus, it really is just cool, like, seeing the logo. But I'm excited and I'm not surprised. I know when everyone was saying that he gave up Superman, no one ever said that. He posted a video on Instagram with the Superman music in the background, and that was it. And from that, everyone freaked out. So I'm not surprised that he's not out. Plus, he probably has a contract that's still ongoing. So the only way that he would be out is if they released him from that. And I don't see that happening. So I'm not surprised at all. And I look forward to seeing him again in the character.
Nick, you just said a lot about how you're not the biggest fan of this franchise. You're 50-50 on Man of Steel. You hate BVS. So imagine, if you will, we get an announcement. Man of Steel 2. It's directed by Matthew Vaughn, and it's starring Henry Cavill, and it's still in this DCEU. Are you excited?
Well, first of all, Maggie, are you telling me the good people of the internet would overreact without hearing all of the information?
I know. It's just, yeah.
That would never happen. Am I excited about that? Here is one thing I would give the DCU. I think they are pretty, for the most part, great with casting. I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman. I think Ben Affleck's a great Batman. I think Jason Momoa is a great Aquaman. Gal Gadot, I wasn't excited about. She surprised me. I think she's a great Wonder Woman. Ray Fisher is Cyborg. Like, I think they're really spot on with their casting. It's everything else that really bothers me. So if I hear that, am I excited? Yes, because we've already heard we're getting Wonder Woman 84 and Aquaman 2 and all these other things. So, like, we're going forward. And if we're definitely going forward, I'd rather have good movies than bad. I'd rather enjoy myself for 2 hours than not. Given my way, throw the whole thing in the dumpster, keep the same actors, pretend it never happened, start over. Well, that's not how it works.
Well, so that is an option that's on the table. Cody, I'm going to pose that option to you, actually. Would you rather have a bunch of one-off movies like Joker, or like what we're supposedly going to be getting with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves with the Batman, which supposedly is going to have no connection to the worlds of DC, DCEU. Would you rather have those, or would you rather have we retry the shared universe? We do, because we're getting Wonder Woman 2, we're getting Aquaman 2. Those things are happening, and those are inherently connected to the universe because of those other movies. They're already connected there. So would you rather see let's go forward with Worlds of DC, or just scrap it, do Wonder Woman 2, do Aquaman 2, shut it down, and let's move forward with just single solo movies? Or maybe a mix of both. What do you want?
Well, I would like a connected, because I think connected just works better when it's done right, because I guess the Marvel MCU kind of spoils me. But to say that I want Henry Cavill as Superman, no. Personally, one, I'd rather see him do other things. I liked him in Mission Impossible. I just don't. I'm gonna get hate. I get hate every time I say this. Superman is a horrible superhero. I will just come out and say it. He's terrible. He's a terrible superhero. His secret identity is a suit and tie. The only thing that can take him down is this green rock that's on a different planet, but every bad guy in the world gets it. It just drives me batty. And I think Zod at Man of Steel got off easy because he got to leave the movie earlier than the rest of us did, and I think that's a terrible movie. I hate Man of Steel with a passion, and I hated every part of Superman in BVS. The only part I liked of Henry Cavill's Superman is when he is in Justice League and the Flash is running behind him and he turns around and you see the same eyes that he gives in Mission Impossible Fallout. And like when he throws the hands down, you're like, oh, this Flash is about to get effed up. That was the cool part. But everything else, oh, here's Lois Lane, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. He's so vanilla ice cream boring of a character. And everybody's like, he killed people in this one. I wish he killed everybody in Metropolis. Like, let's see an angry Superman. Like, let's go.
That movie's called Brightburn.
Yeah, but I wanted actually Raz called Superman. I don't know. It's just, I think Henry Cavill, you're a fantastic actor in, like, Man from U.N.C.L.E., in the Mission Impossibles. I think The Witcher is going to be fantastic. Go do other projects. Please stay away from Superman. And just let Superman go away and let other superheroes, like, let's do Supergirl. Let's just do Supergirl. That show is just as boring, but I like it. I want to see somebody different.
Well, as someone who's deep into the CW mythos of DC, I don't want to see a Supergirl movie. I actually like that show, but no, not in the movie. No, thank you.
No, whatever. You're right, because they suck, right? Both super people suck. Like, on their own, they suck. So let's just face it.
Well, Cody hates super people. That sounds about right. He's starting to sound a lot more like Martin Scorsese over here, but let's move on.
Henry Cavill's not my cinema, I'll tell you.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. This one is just kind of for fun because I don't give a shit about it, but I do think it's funny. Sonic the Hedgehog trailer came out months ago. Maybe was it this year that it first premiered?
The article says late April.
Okay, so the trailer comes out in late April. Sonic the Hedgehog fans freak the fuck out. I don't know anything about Sonic, but they all freak out, say that his teeth are weird, his eyes don't look right. He looks like a fucking cat. He meows in the trailer. Let's be okay. And then everyone freaks out. So the director of the movie comes on Twitter and says, okay, we heard your complaints. We want to do this right. We're going to fix it. And they do. And people were saying that it cost like $35 million or something for them to fix. No, it cost $5 million. The director comes out and says it cost $5 million to redo all of the Sonic stuff in the movie. And so I think this movie's Paramount, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Paramount. Yes. Good on them. Honestly, I think this is cool. I don't like the idea of fans getting whatever they want when they bitch and scream on the internet, but I like the idea that they said, okay, you didn't like the design. We can change that. We can fix that. I like that. It's different than fans going, we didn't like the way that Luke went out in The Last Jedi, so fuck you. No. And so now they're not going to remake The Last Jedi because of that, but I think that this is cool. I like this. I think the movie still looks like shit. The movie looks terrible, but Sonic looks cool. And if for $5 million, Paramount wants to dish out that money to make some people happy, sure, why the fuck not? Nick, give me your opinion.
You forget the first piece of promotional material was that poster that came out that only had Sonic's legs.
Yes.
And they were weirdly toned and weirdly like they had calves, and everyone's like, what the hell am I looking at? I agree with just about like a true American, because he's definitely from America. Yeah, I agree with just about everything you said, Tim, but you brought up a point that I was really, really gonna stress. Picture a late, like 2006, early 2007, and one Mr. Heath Ledger gets announced as the Joker. And the internet uproars and says, boo you, we're not going to see this. We don't want this. The person from 10 Things I Hate About You to be the Joker. This is awful. So the movie goes, or the studio goes, okay, like you're right, we'll change it. Well, we'll hire someone else so that you'll come see the movie. This is where I see the danger in what has happened. I happen to agree Sonic looked awful, and now he does look better. And I actually, like, I played the Sonic games when I was younger. But the movie doesn't really look great. And yeah, I can get on board with the idea, like, pick your battles. This was a cool battle to pick to like appease the fans and say like, okay, we'll do this for you. But I really, I fear we may have just taken the first step to fall down a very slippery slope where the internet can sort of dictate what shows up on the screen. Because like, who knows what they want? No one knows what they want. I think Steve Jobs said it. Nobody knows what they want until you show it to them.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that Sonic looks better, but I'm very nervous for the future.
Cody, how many times will you see this movie in the theater to make up for the fact that they spent $5 million to fix Sonic?
I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it right now on Multiplex Love Movies. This is a connected universe with the movie Monster Trucks, because I'm telling you, it looks exactly like that movie. Hot flipping garbage. Like, you could have changed you could have made him a 7-foot tall blue man. It's still going to be a bad movie. I'm just glad. But this gives me hope. Now season 8 of Game of Thrones can be remade because Paramount decided.
Oh my God.
Paramount launched the first strike. Let's get it. Snyder Cut's coming, everybody. Grindelwald is getting replaced with somebody better. Like, the things can happen. This is the America that we were all promised, and it can happen. No, I'm just kidding. Who cares? Like, $5 million, I'm sorry. You wasted your money. Like, you save that. Donate the $5 million that you would have fixed Sonic and give it to, like, cancer research or, like, kids that lost their home in fires. Like, please do something better with your time than fixing Sonic the Hedgehog, because this movie is going to be garbage. It's got Jim Carrey in like a creepy mustache running around. Like, what promised? We have nothing to. He comes back to movies with Sonic the Hedgehog. How much you paying him? It's gonna be bad. Don't go see it. Abort mission. Abort mission.
Maggie, we have a tendency to, when the multiplex people get together to see a film, when we are next getting together, that plan, this film will be in theaters. Will we all go and see it while we are hanging out together?
I hope not. But I mean, I guess.
Hellboy, Dora, now this? No, thank you. I will not sit there again.
Toy Story as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything that everyone said. It really is just sort of giving in for no reason, and I honestly don't think it looks that much better. I think it looks real cartoony, and I think
it looks more like the game.
And they were trying to not do that. So it's whatever. I just think that the internet is a whiny place, and that the studio should not have. They just justified the internet's whininess with $5 million. That's ridiculous. That's all.
It's better than 35 million. Okay, something else that's gotten pushed that I'm very upset about. Kingsman. The Kingsman was supposed to come out in February 14th. It was supposed to open.
Well, it was supposed to come out this month, actually. I was reading the article.
Yeah, it was. It was supposed to come out in November. It was pushed. It was pushed to February. It was supposed to come out in February. It has since been pushed now to September. We've got to wait many more moons to see this movie. I'm sad because I was very much looking forward to watching this movie in just a couple short months. Maggie, I'll go right back to you. Kingsman, were you looking forward to it? Why do you think it's been pushed?
Yeah, I am looking forward to it a lot. And I was reading the article. It looks like it was pushed because of the Disney Fox deal. And they didn't want to have to compete in that Valentine's Day weekend slot this year, which makes sense. I mean, other than the fact that they had already pushed it to there is the only thing that bothers me. Like, if you already pushed it to that slot, maybe you should have like checked to like see what was going to come out then. But I understand that a lot of things are going to get moved around, and like that's just how it's going to be with a merger like this, because you don't want to have to compete against your own properties, and you want to make sure a movie like this does well. So while I am sad, I am not worried. It doesn't seem like it's about quality, like they're not doing reshoots. Like, clearly they weren't. I would say if it was about quality, they wouldn't have released all these trailers. So I'm not too worried about it, just disappointed.
Yeah, the first trailer actually came out back in like August, September. So by the time that we actually get to see this movie, it's going to have been almost a year since we got that trailer. Nick, are you a Kingsman fan? You looking forward to this?
Dude, I'm a huge Kingsman fan. I own both on Blu-ray. This is the first fucking time I'm hearing about it. What are we talking about?
Yep, I didn't know until today either when I was doing research.
Trailer is out for this movie right now. I'm looking at the article right now. Are you telling me Ray Fiennes and Jaimin Hatsu are in this movie? What is going on?
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even know the movie existed?
No, dude. Like, I am so
Oh, it's a prequel.
I'm really living in a hole that I have just crawled out of. I really need to catch up. This is the first I'm hearing about this. Great. I'm so happy now.
The trailer's
better than ever, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
It's about the first Kingsman.
I remember there being talks about that, like after the second one came out, because the second one I think underperformed a little bit, and they were like, we still want to keep it the franchise, but maybe we'll shake it up a little bit. I didn't love the second one as much as the first one. I thought it had a little Kick-Ass 2 syndrome where it was like, or it was more trying to avoid that, and in doing that, it just the whole bringing back Colin Firth thing just didn't work for me. But regardless, I think they created too many rules for their own universe to the point where I was like, this is a little cartoony. Regardless, I still really like the first one. I did like the second one, and I would love to see another one. I got a big thing in rule of threes. Don't know what it is. Might be a little bit of OCD. I would have really liked a trilogy, a Kingsman trilogy, then do a prequel. But that's just me. But yeah, again, this is the first I'm hearing about this. This is amazing.
Yeah, we are actually getting a third one with Taron Egerton. It's going to come after this one, which is dumb. I agree. I would have rather seen the third one first. But go watch the trailers when we're done here, because I've really enjoyed the trailers. There's been 2 of them. The first one I thought was just okay, but this newest trailer that came out about a month and a half ago, really enjoy it. Cody, I actually don't know your take on Kingsman, what you think about it. Are you excited for this movie, and are you disappointed in the push? Are you happy about it? What's going through your head?
Let me tell you, Colin Firth got off. No, I'm just kidding. I actually like this movie a lot. I did not like the second one at all. I thought that was just off what Kingsman. It took me a while to get to it, and then when I finally watched it, I was like, "Yep, everybody that disliked this movie was pretty much accurate. It went off of it." But that first one was brilliant. That film was awesome. It's everything. It's nothing I expected, and it did everything. I'm okay with the pushback. I mean, I want these movies like this kind of thing to continue if they're successful and they're good. So, like, I don't want to compete with something that you're going to lose money on. So, I mean, it's a smart business move. That's what sucks when Fox and when Fox and Disney combine, you have to, like, or whoever, even these mergers and stuff, like, the pushback. It's unfortunate, but it's probably best.
Yeah, and it's coming out now at a time where there really isn't a lot coming out at the beginning of September. You don't really have, like, a big horror movie like It the last year and the year before, or 2 years ago. This Kingsman 2 actually came out in September, and it did okay. It didn't do great, but again, the reviews weren't fantastic. So I think September is actually a pretty great spot for it. Although I thought February was a good spot for it too. So it would have premiered up against Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as some other Blumhouse film. So I think it could have done fine. I don't think the push needed to happen, but that's just me. Guys, the last thing I want to talk about is something super, super serious. I don't know if you heard about this, but a few years ago, and by a few, this was probably 2010, 2011, a young boy went to the theater house to see Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace in 3D. George Lucas was going to bring us all of them movies in 3D once a year, 6 years. He started with The Phantom Menace. He's a moron. He should have started with A New Hope. I digress. We were going to get one movie a year. It didn't perform well, but he had edited all of the movies a little bit, changed a couple things here and there while doing the 3D conversions, and we never saw episodes 2 through 6, those versions, until now, because those versions are on Disney Plus. And on A New Hope, he changed the fucking Greedo and Han shooting scene again. He changed it again. And now instead, so Han shot first? No, fuck that. We got to change it. So now Greedo barely shoots first, then Han shoots first? Nope. Stupid. Let's shake this up again. Now this time, they shoot at the same time. But Greedo, I haven't seen it, but I guess right before he dies, he says, McClunky.
Oh, that's what this is all been.
So they shoot. Greedo says, McClunky, fucking dead.
That's what all these stupid things have been. Oh my.
Why? This is all. People are trolling this shit all over the internet. Just McClunky. Why is he saying McClunky? What does it mean? Does it mean oh fuck? Does it mean shit? What does it mean? Why is he yelling McClunky? George, we demand answers. Cody, McClunky gate. Your thoughts, please. I beg of you. You're muted, my friend.
Every time that stuff like this comes to the forefront, I think George Lucas, when he changes stuff in Star Wars, it's literally like when I think of a joke to tell my wife and I stew on it for a long time, like, oh gosh, she's gonna love this part, and then I tell her and she like stares at me and walks away.
Same.
Literally, this is what George. I think he just sits there in the editing room, laughs hysterically, and is like, they're gonna die when they see this. And then nothing. I've actually went because I saw this was on Disney Plus. I wanted to see they're in 4K. So I wanted to go check them out. So I started with New Hope and I saw this part. Oh, wow. just gosh, I hate the man. I don't like him at all because he changes everything. Just keep him. He should not be allowed. He felt betrayed. He said in the article that he felt betrayed. I feel betrayed every time you touch a movie. Like, stop touching. Like, I'm glad you sold it for $4 billion. But why, Disney, did you have to put this version on there? It's so confusing. Oh, gosh. Han should have shot him because I'm thinking that word means something very offensive.
Ooh.
But I'm not sure.
That's an interesting
But I'm guaranteed going to call Kaleb Koho the next time I see him. I promise you that.
Nick, should we be allowed to ask questions about McClunky in fandom fights? Go.
No, I think. So I do not yet have Disney Plus. I scrolled by an article that said, like, oh, the Han Greedo scene got changed again. I just assumed they found out their moms had the same name and then they became friends.
Oh.
That's not what happened. And then I started seeing all the McClunky. I did not put it all together until just now. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And Tim, I hope Greedo said it exactly the way you said it.
McClunky.
McClunky.
Because that would just be the greatest thing ever. This goes back to my point in the earlier thing about like recuts and re-edits, and it's just like, it's a movie. You get one try in my book. Like, what are you doing? If you have an idea for a better movie, make it. And I get that sometimes business gets in the way, and then you got to release stuff later. But like, George, what are you doing? Everyone has told you for 40, 50 years now that what you made is an absolute masterpiece. What are you doing? Stop.
He's making them better. Maggie, McClunky, is this something we're going to yell around the house?
Probably. I imagine that it's going to be the new Bring Me the Lamp. Like, let's be honest. So
I don't know if anything could ever
That's
top
probably what
that.
it means.
It could be what it means. He just wanted Han to bring him the lamp. Okay. Guys, if you've never seen the show before, we always end the show talking about the movies that are coming out next week in theaters. Fun fact, if you didn't know, and no one knows because I haven't said it yet, we're not going to have a show next week. We are not going to be here next Tuesday. I know, so sad for all of the 7 people to 3 people who usually watch live. But that's okay. We're not going to be here next week. We might do a pre-tape. Who knows? We'll see what I'm feeling. But we are not going to be live here next week. So that being said, we have a lot of Wednesday openers in the middle of the week. We're going to talk about quite a few movies real quick here. I'm just going to go around and get a buy or sell on these movies. The one we'll talk about the most probably right now, Frozen 2. Maggie, buy or sell Frozen 2. Are you excited to see Frozen 2? Are you pumped? Will you be screaming into the unknown?
I would say, please, Tim. I am very much there, more excited than most of the 10-year-olds that are excited to see this movie. So it'll be a good time. It'll be very good. I'm excited. I've not heard Into the Unknown because I'm not going to play that game.
Fair enough. Nick, Frozen 2, are you there?
Can I pay some people so that I don't have to see it?
Nick.
Also, is there any way to avoid any and all marketing for this? Just because last time Frozen came out, it took over my life. I couldn't go grocery shopping without being shoved Frozen merchandise. Didn't hate the first one. I'm coming down a little harsher on it, but I don't really care to see the second one.
Fair enough. Cody, you like Disney films. Are you going? You're muted, my friend.
I clicked it. It doesn't do anything. Don't buy a computer. They're trash. I am going to see it. I love Disney. Frozen is nowhere near my top, 10 or so movies. It's not even in probably my top 50. But it's overall animated movies. But I think the story is good. I'm excited to see what they do, but I'm a little worried because I didn't think this one needed a sequel. So we'll see.
And I'm with Maggie. I'm excited for it. I really, 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 really like the first one. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I think
let it go, Tim.
Is delightful. What?
I said, Tim, love is an open door.
Love is an open door, and we finish each other's sandwiches. It's great. Okay.
Eat your own sandwich.
The next one from the visionary producers of Avengers Endgame comes 21 Bridges. This movie is also opening on Friday. This is going to be a hard pass for me. I'm probably still going to see it because I'm a bitch and I like to come here and review all the movies. But 21 Bridges, I don't really care. I want to see Chadwick in more things beyond Avengers. He's great in 42, Get On Up. Like, I think he's a great actor. But this one doesn't look great to me. So that's going to be a pass from me. Maggie, you next.
Yeah, it's also going to be a pass for me. I thought the trailers were not that bad, but now that I know that it's trash, not that interested in seeing it.
Nick, is this the one that's finally going to get you out to theaters?
Well, I hadn't heard any reviews on it until
it's trash.
About 3 seconds ago. It looked pretty generic trailer wise. I did like all the talent involved. Yeah, I probably wasn't gonna.
It has a 43% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. Cody, yay or nay on 21 Bridges?
J.K. Simmons can make me do a lot of things, but not see this movie. So no thanks.
All right. Next is back into Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood with A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, starring Tom Hanks. I'm very excited for this film. This film right now rocking that 96% certified fresh motherfucker. Yes, to me, absolutely. Won't You Be My Neighbor was a delight. Can't wait to see more of this, especially in a dramatized version with the illustrious Tom Hanks. So, Maggie, what do you got?
Well, it's actually America's Tom Hanks. That is the correct title. And I am very excited to see this movie. The reviews that we watched one review, I think it was Chris Duckman, and it was very good. So I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. Good Oscar. Beatty will win probably some Oscar nominations type thing.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Nick. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. You there?
I might wait till I'm in like a very depressed sort of state of mind and just need like the biggest pick me up ever, because this is the type of movie I think I'm gonna happy cry at. But yeah, no, real excited for it. Looks good. I prefer America's Tom Hanks over Canada's. I think we have the far superior Tom Hanks. Don't know that Canada has a Tom Hanks. Cody, what do you think?
Believe me, Tom Hanks would not ever go to Canada unless he was paid to. That Brooklyn lives there and he's trash. This movie, my wife does not like movies, and my wife says, I don't care what we're doing, we're going to see this movie. And I said, Mr. Rogers gets you to the cinema. All right, I will take it. So I'm really excited. I love the documentary that came out last year, was it?
Yeah.
And Tom Hanks doesn't do a lot of wrongs. I mean, Cloud Atlas does exist in the terminal, but when he does put his heart into it, I'm really excited. So he's one of the best actors. So I want to see it.
Absolutely. All right, the next one, Knives Out, 97% on the tomato meter from the illustrious Rian Johnson. Let's go the other way this time. Cody, Knives Out, yay or nay?
Is that coming out this week or next week for me?
It comes out on Wednesday. It comes out on Wednesday. A week from tomorrow.
Okay. Yes, this is a huge yes. Not as excited as Koho because, Last Jedi should have won Best Picture. But I'm excited to see him not touch Star Wars. And the cast, and I love murder mysteries, so I'm really pumped for this movie. I hope it's good. So, yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas, what about you?
Yeah, dude, Rian Johnson to me, I didn't hate The Last Jedi. Didn't love it. Rian Johnson to me is a dude that needs like his own space to be creative. Like, I could see Rian Johnson becoming like a Quentin Tarantino type, where it's like, as long as he's got free reign to like do the projects he wants, like, that'll be great. Star-studded cast looks great. I really wasn't all hip on it until I heard like the reviews come out and saw the tomato percentage. So now, and like, I've been kind of dying for like a good murder mystery. Not in real life, of course. Like,
I have a party I want to invite you to, Nick.
Yeah, no, I've been dying for like I don't know that it'll be exactly like Clue, but like a good movie. I thought Murder on the Orient Express was going to be that, and it just really wasn't for me. So I've been craving something like this.
What about Murder Mystery on Netflix with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston? What about that one? I didn't see it, but I heard it was terrible. Maggie.
What?
You Knives Out, yes or no?
Yes. I'm very excited. It's gonna be great. I like Ryan Johnson a lot. I know my hands. The Last Jedi was great. Don't call me Koho. I am very excited to see this one.
I am as well. The other one coming out on Wednesday, Queen and Slim. I don't know a lot about this movie. I think it went to some festivals. Daniel Kaluuya. It's rocking 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sure to be a Oscar movie. I'm excited to see it based on that alone. I know I saw a trailer at some point, but I don't really remember it. Maggie, do you care to see this film?
I mean, I probably will because it seems kind of Oscar baity, and so I'll probably see it, but maybe not. I'm not that interested in it, but I'm sure it'll be good. Doesn't it have? You said Daniel Kaluuya, right?
Yeah.
Kaluuya. Yeah, I've seen the trailers for it, and it looks good. So.
Nick.
Don't know much about. It's pretty much the same boat as you, Tim. I like Daniel Kaluuya a lot. If it's got good ratings, that's great for me. I gotta find more free time. Once I do, I'll be seeing all these.
Cody, what about you?
If it comes to a streaming platform near me, sure.
Sounds good.
I'm not running to theaters yet.
Speaking of things coming to streaming platforms near you, a week from tomorrow on Netflix, The Irishman is coming to Netflix. Maggie and I get to see it in a fucking movie theater on Friday, baby. 3 more days. I'm so excited. 3 more days until we get to see The Irishman. It's coming. So happy. Yeah! Cody, The Irishman. Are you excited?
I'm excited until my wife said I couldn't drive to Madison. So you'll see it with my friends. But no, I don't think I've been this excited for a movie. Yeah. This is my most anticipated of the last probably 6 years. I love the MCU movies. I love movies that come out, but Scorsese, De Niro, Pesci, Pacino, mob movie, done. Doesn't matter. I'm off work that day. Oh, I'm gonna watch it 3 times, guaranteed.
That's gonna be
11
hours, but I'm proud of
I've
you.
watched The Lord of the Rings in a day. That's fine.
That's fair. Yeah, I gotta learn to control my bladder so I don't have to leave the theater because I can't just pause it like
catheter.
It'll be maybe I might have to. Maggie, are you excited?
I am excited because I'm feeding off of your excitement and because I don't hate Martin Scorsese films, even though that is what you think. I am a little bit nervous about the runtime. If you know anything about me, I hate long movies. If a movie is over 2 hours, I have serious questions. You must prove yourself to me for why you're over 2 hours. So we'll see. It'll definitely be a bladder holding challenge. But I'm excited to see it because I know it's going to be good. Yeah.
Nick, is this one you're going to seek out?
Okay. First of all, I haven't gone to the bathroom once today, so I'd be fine.
Oh my God.
Second of all, I am not on Steven Spielberg's level of hating streaming services. I'm really not. I promise. I need to preface that. Something about hearing when I heard that Irishman was being made with all these actors by Scorsese, I was through the roof, to the moon, all that. When I heard it was purchased by Netflix, I don't know why. I really can't explain it. Sometimes you just feel things. I was less excited. Not because of the quality of Netflix. I think there's just something in me that thinks, and it's not always possible, that thinks the first time you should see a movie is in a theater with other people who are also there to experience it. I don't know. I really can't explain it. I'll see it because I was really excited when I heard about it, and I'm still excited about it, but just the fact that I'm not going to be able to go drive to a theater, shut all my electronics off, and just sit and watch is a little disappointing.
I definitely hear you. When it was first, the same thing happened to me. My first thought was, shit, am I not going to be able to buy The Irishman on Blu-ray because it's going to be on Netflix? That was literally one of my first thoughts. Like I said, me and Maggie are blessed that we do get to go see it in the theater. We're in a city where it is coming here. I don't mean to just rub that in, but it's true. I'm a little bit excited. It's the most excited I've been for a movie in a very, very long time. So, yeah, guys, that was the show. Fantastic. We did it. We did all the things on the checklist. I didn't have to skip any of the topics. Fantastic. And it's all because of the wonderful panel. So, Maggie, anything you need to plug?
No, I'm usually just here. So,
Letterboxd?
You can follow me, on Letterboxd at May24, MAE24, or on Twitter at May24, Maggie, MAE24, MAGGIE.
The Macaw. Yes. Nick, where can the people follow you? Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yes, I need to plug in my computer. It is very low on battery. It's getting kind of hot in here. I might plug in my fan later.
Fair enough.
I have social media at College Movie Man if you want to follow me on stuff. I'm not very active on it. Not a big social media fan. You can find me on Facebook, Nicholas Tuig, and then I'm all around them doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody, what's going on tomorrow in the world of Your List Sucks?
Your List Sucks. We're doing Oscars lead performances gone wrong. So I'm still looking for one more panelist. So if anybody's out there that wants to submit a list, please do. It's basically you replace the person that won the lead Oscar and replace them with somebody that was nominated or somebody that wasn't nominated. And we're going to talk about pros and cons of that. And it's going to be a fun show. I have Koho. I have
Of course you do.
I have somebody else that's really sad that I'm forgetting, but I also have Dominic Rizzi, which my enemy is going to be on there. So if you like me bashing him for only 2 minutes, watch it for 2 hours. It's going to be a blast.
Fantastic. And actually coming up in the world of fandom fights this weekend, it's a double Nicholas heavy episode. Nicholas Tuig right there has 2 matches. You're playing Subrath Sharma on Friday, and your team, Nick of Time, you and the other illustrious Nick in the community, you guys are playing Necronomicon. So that is Jay and Mark. So that'll be a great match. Be on the lookout for those. And again, we are going to be off next week, Tuesday. But you can keep a lookout for some more quick clicks with Tim. We've got some fun stuff coming up that me and Kaleb Boatman actually are going to be doing this week. So be on the lookout for those. But guys, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, see you later.